Hey, everyone, welcome to 996 The Howl. For the uninitiated, this is an unedited YouTube vlog discussing everything Arizona Coyotes. It's been a week. Chayka once again toying with our hearts. What an exhilarating draft. I mean, I haven't felt a draft like this in a really long time. I think ever. Oh man, let me paint a picture. Remember when Chayka picked Keller? What was it, seventh overall? We're all scratching our heads. I had no idea who Keller was. He wasn't in on my radar. Couple scouts and professionals had him around 10 or outside of the top 10, but I didn't think the Cowboys were going to pick Keller, and Chayka did. Said he was a special player, held on to the puck, was going to grow into an elite player, and he did. 2 years later, he led our team in points and goals, and Keller's just an elite Coyotes player. And this year, when Chayka stood up to the podium with Zadina on the board still, I mean, I'm sure all of us were so excited for him to pick an NHL ready scoring winger who just scores goals and loves to score goals. But Chayka, being Chayka, goes off the board and picks Barrett Hayton. He's number 27 in red if you're watching the highlights here. Um, yeah, Barret Hayton, Canadian boy. He's a centerman, models his game after Jonathan Taves and Patrice Bergeron. He's a two-way forward, two-way centerman, touches both areas of the ice, offensively and defensively, plays on the PP and the PK. When I hear Chayka and scouts and the Coyotes scouts talk about Hayton, they say he has a complete game, high hockey sense, high hockey IQ, and that's what Talkett's been pushing lately. Last season, he wants players with a high hockey IQ, high hockey sense, who make plays, who see the game differently and in a more creative way. And Chayka's been watching Hayton for a really long time. If you watch Chayka's interview, Chayka's been obsessed with him since Christmas, watching every game of his, every game, and going to 10 live games for Hayton on the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, and even the scouts of the Coyotes have been having their eyes on this kid for over 2 years. So this is a player they wanted. Just full stop. This is the player Chayka wanted and the scouts wanted. Obviously, with fifth overall, it's a head scratcher, but Chayka believes Hayton was the best player available at the time and the best player he wanted out of this draft. I mean, aside from Dahlin, I'm sure if the Coyotes had a number one pick, Chayka would have picked Rasmus Dahlin. But after that, the professionals were saying, the difference is pretty negligible after Dahlin and Svechnikov. So, I mean, look at Montreal. They went off the board and picked the Finnish centerman, and instead of picking Zadina. So even Montreal skipped Zadina, even Ottawa. I'm not very confident in both of those teams' GMs, but still they skipped over a pure sniper. And so the Coyotes, they pick a centerman, an elite centerman. They hope that becomes an elite centerman. Chayka says, you can't trade for number one centers. You have to draft them. You have to draft for special positions like center, like a top two D-man. And wingers come and go, to be honest. He can trade for a center. He can a winger. He could pick up a winger on free agency. Phil Kessel has expressed interest to come to Arizona. So there's an elite winger right there at your grasp. Just make a trade or offer him some money when he's a free agent. So honestly, it was disappointing right away when I was expecting Zadina. I was expecting Chayka to say his name. And then, like I said, once again, he goes off the board and picks a guy I don't know. Have to frantically research him and confirm my trust in Chayka. But, after sleeping on it, watching interviews, reading reports, that he's more of a Selkie centerman. Like I said, Bergeron and Taves. It makes me excited. And you know what? Our center depth is great right now, but in a couple years, we're going to have to re-sign Stepan. We have 3 more seasons of Stepan, only 2 more seasons with Galchenyuk and Strome. So there goes our number 2 center if we decide to let them both walk. Dvorak, we have to re-sign after this upcoming season. So, in 2 to 3 years, our center depth could evaporate in a second. So Hayton kind of helps us transition into a new center corps if Chayka decides to go that way. I think Chayka wants to see what Stepan and Galchenyuk bring to this team. If the experiment doesn't work, we have Hayton to come back up. We also need Strome to be a number 2 center at the very least. He can't be a number 3. Dvorak's a pure number 3 center because he's both defensive and offensive, plays a PK, has some offensive upside to him. But we need Strome to elevate his game so much. And that would really bolster our center and wings. If Strome comes out of the gate playing amazing, that moves Galchenyuk to wing, and then that's a pure scoring winger that we need right there. And that solves our winging problems. And then Perlini could, get the weight off his shoulder, and then, put panic with Stepan and Keller. They were awesome down the stretch last season. So it gives, if Strome could be a number 2 center, it just gives the wingers more depth and gives Talkin way more options to do line combos. And then from there, maybe we don't need Galchenyuk in 2 years from now, and Hayton's ready to make the jump, or we trade Galchenyuk off. But it gives us options. If Chayka picked Zadina, he'd obviously be on the top line with Keller and Stepan scoring goals. But I don't know. Maybe Hayton's got a longer ceiling. Everyone says he's gonna be in the NHL for a really long time. He just has a complete game. He doesn't just score. He touches a lot of areas. Not afraid to use his body on the boards. So he seems like just a pure hockey player. And Zadina seems more one-dimensional, if that makes sense. We need scoring, yeah, I know. But you know what? Long term, maybe Hayton's a better choice, and Chayka hasn't steered us wrong yet. But yeah, it was just really unexpected. You expect Chayka to pick Zadina, who was on the board, after Ottawa picks Kachuk. Or even a defenseman. Our decor is pretty nice. The Coyotes have 6 more draft picks in the 2nd to 7th round. They have 4 picks from number 55 to 74. So in 19 selections, Chayka is going to pick 4 players from 55 to 74. So that's awesome. That's pretty high. Getting 4 assets in 19 positions, what if he picks all D-men? At least one of them has to be amazing. We'll see what Chayka does. They're doing the 2nd round as I record this. I just want to get my thoughts on the 5th overall pick because I think that's most important to the team. I'm sure Chayka and his boys have done a good job, and they'll pick some great players from 55 to 74, like I said 3 times now. But yeah, it was an interesting draft and an interesting week, and just yeah, man, it's crazy being a Coyotes fan. Chayka just continues to surprise, and that's fun. You don't want a GM who's just boring and has no personality and is safe. Chayka likes what he likes. He's a smart guy. He built his own company scouting young players like Barrett Hayton, and that's how he got an NHL job. That's how he got a general manager job at such a young age. He created his own company based on this. So, let's have some faith in John, in JC. That's it. That's it for me. Thanks for watching. Thank you for your support.